Good morning. It's Dr. Ashley Romanchuk, and this is the 6th week of focused breath. I'm going to finish up this series because we're working on introduction, and then all the videos are recorded, so it's great to go back into the videos and really pick up the teachings again. And then I will start another series of even more advanced yogic breath after this. So this is the last week of this series, six weeks of breathing, introducing breathing, and getting in tune with the breath, and hopefully teaching how you can bring these breaths into the real world. The real yogi does not leave the yogi mat and just leave yoga on the mat. It's about doing this in real life, and obviously some of these breaths you wouldn't be doing, in your common life, but paying attention to your breath is something you can definitely do in common life, and you can do some of the restraining breaths in life for sure. I used to do a lot of the Ujjayi breath. Sometimes I'd be sitting in school and I'd be doing the 4-7-8 breathing, and you can definitely do some of these breaths while you're in your normal life. As always, we're going to open our windows in whatever space we're in, and if you are lying in bed, that's wonderful. Staying in your very calm state is very important while you're breathing. If you're sitting on a mat, as always, sit it on a cushion. Have your sit bones planted, both of them planted evenly. If you're not sure, you can just go and feel the bony part under your bum and really ground them into the ground evenly. This is also grounding. This is the second chakra. For your highest chakras to be very illuminated and functioning well, you have to have your root chakra very grounded. So another trick I do, which I've done for years, you can do it through your sit bones when you're seated, or when you're standing and walking on the earth. You energetically grow roots. So you can grow them through your sit bones while you're seated, or when you're standing, grow them through your feet and grow them down your energy into the earth. And then, like a tree, I wrap my energy around the core of the earth. This is really important. If you're just new and starting to get into energetics, just learning how to do that, like really, it's there is a lot of mind and kind of pineal gland, third eye, things that go into energetics, but it's important. So growing your roots into the earth and then wrap them around the core of the earth. So whatever you're doing, you are so grounded, and in that place, your spiritual kind of energy starts to really, really increase and get strong. Your hips then are below your ribs. Your belly is tucked in and up. This is very important for proper breath work because it supports the diaphragm. But it's just good for everyday practice. Your abdominal muscles are important. I'm sure you've heard of it from people that are, into sports, or everything starts with the abdominal muscles. So very much your second chakra here and your solar plexus. So it's in, like, towards the back of the room, and then up towards the sky. So it really brings in kind of like a corset into your belly to get your diaphragm functioning properly. Your shoulders are above your ribs, above your hips. head, you're always strengthening your spine, right? So you think of a ribbon. This is taught in ballet class up to the roof. Very important. Ears above your shoulders, and then shoulders are back and down. Proper posture is so very important to breathe properly. In pranayama, which is one of the 8 limbs of yoga, yoga is mind, body, soul, mind, body, spirit, mind, body, soul union. It is important to set your thoughts on God or like divine love. There are teachers that say that you should do this before you even start pranayama, because if you don't have your mind set on basically divine source energy, love, breathing can actually move your energy into chaos or chaotic place, dark place. I personally don't necessarily believe this. I really believe that you're always connected and breathing will just remove the veil of darkness. But there are some teachers that say that put your mind onto God. So what's God? I mean, God, creator, Allah, so many different words for this energy, divine love. If you're somebody that might be atheist, okay, set your mind on what you love. Like how Peter Pan says, put your mind, like think of your happy place. That's the same thing. Whether it be a pet or a loved one or a happy thought, let's spend a moment to think of something where we were just overwhelmed with love. And let's really feel that, okay? Another way you can attune to this is through gratitude. So if you can't quite think of that moment, think of what you're grateful for this morning. And let's just spend a moment attuning to that, because there is some teachers that say that this is a very, very, very important step before you even go into pranayama. I feel like I'm always attuned, so I don't have much of a problem with that. But this practice does help move people into loving, grateful, pure places. So just a moment to think of a place where you were really, truly overwhelmed with love, in love, felt, perhaps felt the divine, and or where you're very grateful. Okay, so holding that thought, that place of love, gratitude too, I'm going to start breathing. So breathing in through our nose and out, just attuning to our breath. So yoga is about going inwards. We live in a holographic universe, so a lot of people look outside of themselves trying to find truth, but it's all about going inwards. And in going inwards and starting to spend time with self, one might start to realize that the entire reality they experience outside of themselves is their energy, their self, their truth. It's a mirror showing you to you, and that's the truth of yoga. So you can't control the outside, but you can go inwards and start to learn about self and control the self, and then the outside reality starts to mimic what you're doing in the interior. And that's how you become a powerful yogi. So breathing in through the nose and out. Let out a sigh if you wish. Very good time to tune to how you feel this morning. Are you tired? Is there any pain? Is there any struggle in your breath? Every time you breathe, it should be coming from the belly and not from the chest. So breathing in through the nose, belly expands, let it out. I've spoken of this before. Do you have any mucus? Mucus is a big sign that you are not well. Okay? Years and years and years of dealing with mucus, and you can often lead it to a disease process. So why do you have mucus? It's typical that you're eating something that is not for your health. Certain foods that are mucus forming are definitely alcohol. Tobacco can be. And it's not necessarily tobacco, it's the chemicals in cigarettes. Too much yeast in the diet, bread and sugar. Too much dairy product in the diet. And then some people, if they're eating some meats, can create mucus too. Also, this is not medical advice or treatment. This is literally yoga. My name is Dr. because I'm a naturopathic doctor, but this is not naturopathic medicine. It's just my thing. Let out some sighs. If you've got a big lung, sigh. That might mean you're stressed out. Why are you stressed out? What can you do about it? And can you bring these breaths into your daily life to dissipate this stress? Starting to increase the inhales for a count of 4 and perhaps the exhales for a count of 4. So breathing in through the nose for a count of 4, breathing out through the nose and mouth for a count of 4. Breathing in for a count of 4. Your tongue is always against your upper palate, the roof of your mouth, behind your front teeth. Jaws relaxed. So I'm reading some of the Yoga Sutras, Patanjali. Everything I say, I've practiced and I understand through myself first. So I'm not just reading, but I am reading what somebody else wrote because I could teach it myself, and I do teach myself. But we live in a society where it's like, well, prove it. So, okay, well, then I guess I'll go back to the ancient text that was written. Frick, when was this written? I do know actually when the Yoga Sutras were written. Yoga has been around for about 6,000 years. And it comes from Samkhya, accurate knowledge, which is the philosophy of the elements of nature in which the consciousness is entangled. When did Patanjali? Okay, so Patanjali, basically in his Yoga Sutras, described the layers that cover the true self, which is called Atman. And he provides the techniques to uncover them. So he basically pioneered and demystified consciousness and created a scientific method to do so. When did he write the Yoga Sutras? Very fascinating. His Yoga Sutras is all on one page, just actually one page. I think it was about 3,000 years before Christ. So we're talking about old knowledge here. And yes, unfortunately, we live in a world right now where people are like, oh, thanks for sharing. And like, so many people can be talking about that it's hard to decipher who has the intelligent, true words and who doesn't. And I find often I'll share things and people are like, oh, thanks for sharing. And they just don't get it. And you're like, oh my God. Okay. So yoga, okay, so this is the Sutra 5, teaches ultimate presence with no thought. Okay, that's the highest level of yoga, is to just be present, observing, not a single thought. And I've been this way since I was born. So I am an advanced yogi. I don't need anybody to tell me that. I know I am. And I teach things that I know, and I even knew this before I came into this life, knowing it. So it's easy for me, but some people need to really practice these things. Most people must learn to have this level of presence with no thought. By first learning to tune in and analyze their thoughts, and first start to decipher between if it's a selfish thought or if it's a selfless thought. Selfish thoughts, okay, also when I'm speaking, you're all still breathing. So this is always training you to be breathing first. Breathing in for 4, breathing out for 4. We can add the restraint to the breath now. Breathe in for 4, pause, breathe out for 4, pause. You're breathing first while I'm speaking. I'm always training you to take your breath into real life, because chaos happens in real life. But you can learn to always be with your breath first, which is yoga. It is advanced yoga, actually. So, selfish thoughts eventually lead to pain. After analysis of thoughts, one learns either to be a devotee and have selfless thoughts, or to totally be within their true peaceful self, which is Atman. And what we're doing with this breath right now is we're practicing Sattva, that place of peace. So we breathe in for 4, pause, fall into the peace. Breathe out for 4, pause, fall into the place of peace at the top and the bottom of the breath. Feel it, bring it into your entire essence, and then take it with you as you breathe in and out. So, in doing this, you start to learn to exude actually your truth. Our truth is we're all a divine example of God on earth. Every single human, every single animal, every single plant, every single life, including a rock, even a bed. Like I've got my bed in front of me, so that's why this is wood, this was a tree, this was some person that decided, let's make a bed. And that's even a divine example of God. It didn't get there without a connection to source energy. So our true self is peaceful, blissful, loving, present consciousness. And this is what yoga teaches. So there is some people that can just be there in the true peaceful self. And then what you do is you don't budge from your peace. So any person, place, or situation that is trying to shake you out of your peace, you strongly stay there. And then we've got the stoicness of the sage, basically. So still speaking and breathing in for 4. Pause. Breathe out for 4. Pause. Breathe in for 4. Fall into the place of peace. Sattva. Bring it with you as you breathe out. Pause. Once one has analyzed their thoughts and learned to exude good energy, which this can take months, this can take years, but it takes intention to do so. One is on the process to eventually be free of thought, and that is where you want to be. So, good ways to do this is going for a walk by yourself every single day. Not listening to music necessarily. You can listen to music, but you have to be attuned to yourself, not lost in the music. Well, you can listen to music, I should not say that. Music sometimes actually helps these things, because music can change your energy. Can put us into a meditative state, and then when a thought comes up, we analyze it. It's like meditation. It's like bringing up your baggage, I say. And start to analyze. Like, am I feeling this because it's selfish and then it's out of ego? Or am I feeling this because it's selfless, because I really love somebody and I feel maybe empathy or compassion? And then you start to analyze your ego if it's an egoic thought. Start to know yourself. Understand your patterns. So, starting to pay attention, this is the first step, to our thoughts and why we think the way we do allows us to get a little bit more in tune with ourselves. Breathing in for 4, pause, breathe out for 4, pause. Can you feel the difference from this breath in your energy at this time? This is always a good breath to go to when life starts to get a bit hectic. Let's go into our very oxygenating breath, which is simply breathing in through our mouth and out. Don't let the diaphragm just recoil, so it's a very quick breath out. Really feeling the cool air come in through the mouth and the throat, through the thyroid, down. Every breath in, you can be breathing in love and peace. Smile. Think of your happy thought. Think of your grateful thought. This breath we can do for quite a while. I've definitely done classes where we just did this breath for the entire hour, hour and a half. I felt great after. This breath can really dry up the throat, so if you need, drink water. Pause as you need for sure. Keep breathing when you can. Breathing in through the mouth, out, very simple. Practice breathing in love, breathing in gratitude, breathing in happiness, breathing in peace. It's a good practice. Happiness is actually a state of energy that once you attune to it, you can continuously attune to it. It is more advanced yoga, but you can attune to the good places, just as you can also attune to the not so great places like sadness and bitterness and cynicism, anger. Keep breathing in through the mouth and breathing out. I'll be right back. I'm just gonna let my cat inside. Okay, so we're going to dry breath, which essentially moves the energy that we've just taken and moves it through our nadis, which are basically the same thing as the meridians. The Vedic nadis are described differently than the Chinese meridians, but it's very similar. So this is our breath of the seashore. And we start by constricting the back of our throat and making this sound of the seashore. So Okay, from this breath, we're going to go into our first detoxifying breath of the morning, which is Kapalabhati, the Cheyenne skull breath. So always using our second drum muscle. If you're just first to this class, I really suggest going over the past classes because it's really given a lot of foundation and structure of yoga and these pranayama breaths. We're going to breathe out our nose. We only focus on the out breath. Don't worry about the inhale because the recoil of the diaphragm actually brings breath in for us. And you can do this breath for a very long time. So, we always start on an empty channel. So that's breathing in and then letting the air out and then going out of the nose. So just breathe normal for a moment. You might want to take a sip of water because this breath really dries up the central channel as well. We can do another round of that breath, or we can do the second detoxifying breath that we've been working on, which is out of the mouth. It's exactly the same technique. The one out of the mouth moves a lot more heat and excess energy out of the body. So decide for yourself which is best. I'm going to do the one out of the mouth to show people what that is in case you're brand new to this class. And then we'll go into different breath, other breath techniques, but this really moves a lot of stagnancy out of the body and detoxifies. So always start on an empty channel. Always, always, always. So breathing in and Just normal breath in. Notice how you might feel at this time. Change in your lung expansion. Perhaps the sensation of peace. Perhaps the sensation of love. Perhaps the sensation of happiness. Yoga Sutra number 6 says that there is ultimately 5 kinds of mental modifications that either bring pain or bring painlessness, dependent on if one is selfish in their thought. These are called the 5 vrittis. Pramana is right knowledge. So we're living in this time of knowledge everywhere, but you have to have the proper knowledge. So that is why I'm speaking from Patanjali's work, because definitely we live in a time where people say, prove it. You can't just be smart by yourself. You need to prove it. So this is what Patanjali wrote. 2, we have viparyaya, and it's incorrect knowledge and misconception. That is not what you want. 3rd is vikalpa, it's verbal delusion, it's your imagination. It's a veil. 4 is nidra, sleep. 5 is smriti, and that's memory. The sources of the first vritti, which is proper knowledge, right knowledge, pramana, are pratyaksa, which is direct perception and experience. Very important. 2nd is anumana, which is inference. But you have to be careful with inference. You can be wrong. 3rd is agama, which is scriptural testimony. A reliable authority or person tells you. So with yoga, we have the yoga scriptures, we have the sutras, we have the Rig Veda, we have the Upanishads. We also have acharyas, teachers. You don't need to go through the yogic scriptures, you can go through the religious scriptures. They, in my opinion, are a little bit more confusing. And there's the proper teachers of that, right? With different names for them. What matters is the truth is always the truth. It never changes. There is truth. And it's an energy. And when you become more advanced in yoga, you're attuned to it. You can feel it when somebody speaks it. Let's practice our 4, 7, 8 breathing. We breathe in for a count of 4 through our nose. Tongue is always at the upper palate, the roof of the mouth, behind the front teeth. Up there. We restrain the breath for a count of 7, and then we breathe out for a count of 8. Okay, so everybody counts on their own. I cannot breathe and count with you. Breathe in for 4, hold for 7, breathe out for 8. And when you are breathing out for 8, you breathe out the whole count of 8. When you get to 6 and think you have no longer any more breath to breathe out, You find your willpower to breathe out some more. You find the last puffs of air in your lung. You breathe them out. This is retraining your entire respiratory and cardiovascular system. It's a very important breath for lung and heart health. Okay, so again, breathe in for 4 through the nose. Keep your tongue against the upper palate, the roof of your mouth. Hold for 7, breathe out for 8. And when you are breathing out for 8, you're feeling it all the way down to your pubic bone. Okay, this will also give you abdominal muscles. This breath. So. Breathe in for 4, hold for 7, breathe out for 8. This breath is a very difficult breath. If you have to go to normal breath for a few minutes or a few breaths, do that and then jump back into it. It takes a lot of time to practice this breath and get it going properly. If you find you can barely do this breath, follow your body, okay? So if all of a sudden you're yawning, it's good. Your body's coming into balance. Your body is the most intelligent. So being receptive, letting your body lead the way, very important. Go into normal breaths and try again. The important part is always trying again. And this is important with everything in life. Nobody's just perfect right away. It takes practice. It takes time. And then try again with a new, fresh, okay, I can do this. It's about mindset. So breathe in for 4, hold for 7, breathe out. last round. So before we finish up this class, we'll do Nadi Shodhana. It really balances the yin and the yang, the feminine, the masculine, the emotional and the mental nature, heart and mind. As always, this class is by donation, as per the Yoga Sutras. And donation via email transfer is pretty much the only way. So if I didn't have to live, well, I mean, I don't, so I'm practicing it, but of course I'm a person that, of course, uses money for exchange in this society. But the whole concept of just chasing money is just so foreign to me. So I'm going on goodwill, good hearts, truly believing that humans are good, and they're going to watch my videos and not just use my years of experience and knowledge and practice and teachings. Give back like we do in real society. If we were in a yoga class, you'd be walking in and yoga is costing 16 to 18 bucks a class, which is like, to me, it's huge. I recommend $10 a class. I'm happy with anything. If you can't give, even just spreading the good word, bringing new people to class, it's important. So it's also teaching non-stealing. And it's teaching responsibility, integrity, not holding on to money. Money is an energy, like air. Comes in, comes out, comes in. So my email is akromanchuk@gmail.com, akromanchuk@gmail.com. Please also share. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe, please like, please share. Getting the good word out. I'm going to leave it to the people that have watched my videos, and slowly they start to maybe move around and more people start to see them. Okay, so Nadi Shodhana, right hand, our pinky and our ring finger over our left nostril, middle and pointer over our third eye, and thumb over our right nostril. Breathe in for 4, breathe out for 4, breathe in for 4. If it's your first time to class, we're gonna breathe in through 4 through our right nostril, plug, breathe out for 4 through our left nostril, breathe in for 4 through our left nostril, plug, breathe out for 4 through our right nostril, repeat the cycle. We're gonna do this about 20 times. You're gonna have to count on your own because I cannot talk and breathe at the same time, and this is also a teaching. You might notice that you can't talk and breathe at the same time, and then you might start to not talk so much in society, and society then slowly becomes just more quiet and peaceful. It's a good thing. So on your own count, but we're all going to breathe together, starting to breathe in through our right nostril. Let's go. Last round. Okay. Keep your head where it is. Just start to breathe in normally through your nose and out. Notice how different you might feel. And it's a safe time to do some yeses and nos. Breathing can align our spine, as I've said. So yes. And no. Notice if there's any movement in your spine. I'm going to end the class with an Om and then sit in a meditative state for a little bit. If you want to Om with me, you are so welcome. This is the oldest mantra. It's very aligning with source energy. Very healing too. Vibrating the inner channel feels a lot. And then if you can even sit in a meditation for even a minute or two, just the intention of just being still. Mind set on divine God, creator, love, whatever word you want to call divine love. Love, like true, beautiful love. And just no thought, nothing, just sit for even a minute or two. Notice how you feel after that. If you want to go longer, good for you. That's awesome.
also had some other thoughts.